Well, 2 years after a WWL investigation uncovered a wave of fake home improvement loans using the names of New Orleans homeowners, the contractor at the center of that scheme has now pleaded guilty in federal court. WWL Chief Investigator David Hammer returns to the case and the homeowners who helped expose it.
Back in 2023, David Bryan thought he was getting junk mail from a California lender called GoodLeap.
You owe $45,000 on a loan, no payment due right now. It seemed kind of fishy, but you get those every once in a while.
But this was no junk mail. It showed a contractor called Deep South Renovations had collected a $45,000 home improvement loan by signing Bryan's name and by claiming to have completed work on Bryan's uptown house. Solar panels that never existed, windows that were never installed. Bryan thought he was the only victim until federal investigators told him Deep South was just the local arm of a multi-state scam.
The FBI called me and they said, no, it's more than 10, it's more than one lending company.
Now, more than 2 years later, Deep South's owner, Samantha McGee, has pleaded guilty in federal court in Sacramento, California. In court records, she admits to defrauding 2 lenders out of nearly $1.7 million. Most of that money McGee collected from GoodLeap.
So I'm glad she's going to do some time, but part of me doesn't want to let, in my case, it was GoodLeap, that much. I mean, obviously they were victims too, but we were all victims because of the due diligence they did not do on these loans.
Another homeowner, Jay Burris, helped expose the scope of McGee's scheme by digging through Orleans Parish land records.
I figured that I couldn't possibly be the only victim, so I went back to land records and I printed out, at my expense, copies of all GoodLeap liens in Orleans Parish.
Burris then sent letters to more than 20 homeowners affected by the scam. The owner of this house in the lower 9th Ward says she'd been throwing away notices from both GoodLeap and Cincinnati-based Dividend Finance before Burris's letter arrived and warned her she'd been scammed. Bryan says nobody listened until the victims banded together.
When it's one person fighting the fight, you're less likely to get any speedy action. But all of a sudden, now you got multiple people contacting them. That ultimately, along, I think, with your story, helped kind of move the needle pretty quickly.
McGee now owes GoodLeap more than $1.3 million in restitution and another $330,000 to Dividend Finance. But she claims all that money is gone. In 2024, she failed to make required payments on this Metairie townhome. Her public defender in California says she's practically homeless now, and records show U.S. Marshals had to pay to transport her from New Orleans to Sacramento last month so she could enter her guilty plea. But she'll remain free for at least a few more months while she awaits sentencing. Her plea deal says she could reduce her prison time by up to 50% if she helps the feds stop others doing the same home loan scam in other states. David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
McGee's public defender declined to comment prior to her sentencing. Dividend Finance sent us a statement saying it has taken steps to improve its customer verification and communication processes, and also says it now has a stronger screening process for approving contractors like McGee. GoodLeap said it couldn't respond to David's questions in time for our deadline.